another bottle, I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went into the way. I ain't f***ing okay, I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk, I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways, I've been stuck in for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah, rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat for the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million things that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family, from a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my devil, when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo,
Hey, what's up, guys? I would like to play something tonight. It's the Uncut Interview with Olivia, Christy, and Kaylee's Aunt Tammy. Now, I want to give a shout out to Watts the Obsession for posting it on her channel, and go leave a like and a nice comment. It's really very interesting. This interview takes place before the gag order, so you're going to hear some stuff that you haven't heard out of them since the gag order has been in place, and it's really some very interesting stuff. Like, supposedly, when they were calling Jack, they weren't calling him for help. They were calling him to come over. Yeah. And they were fine. Christy thought the last call was at 2:30, when the actual last call, according to Olivia, was 2:52. And Christy made the statement that they would have called 911 if they were in danger. Right. If they weren't calling Jack for help, and Kaylee was just calling him to come over, why were they frantically calling him, both of them, until they were killed at 2:52? Yeah.
Yeah. My name is Christy Goncalves, Kristigoncalves. Yeah, I'm a living.
Oh, and one other thing, you're going to hear Christy say, make sure you get this right and don't get mad. She's talking to Olivia when she says this. Don't get mad and make sure you get this right.
Olivia Stevenson, ALIVEA STEVENSON. Goncalves is my maiden name. I'm married.
My name is Tammy Buttes, TAMIBUTTZ.
Good. You guys good? Everybody good?
No, on here.
Which one?
Yeah, because I will have to run it.
Oh, there you go.
You gotta get it right. Don't get mad.
I think we got it on the pickup. Good. Okay, so just first off, the map that just came out from police, it gives a little bit of a timeline of where they may have been that night. Does that map mesh up with the timeline that you've been putting together?
Yeah, I'd say it's very close. I'd say if you have any closer details to kind of hone in 145 could be very vague. Maybe it's closer to, 150. Let us know if you have anything concrete, because right now concrete's what we can go off of.
In terms of the details, you said it's close. Does that frustrate you that it's close?
I do, but right now we're still trusting authorities that, it's not going to be 20 minutes here or 15 minutes here that's breaking this. But yeah, I implore everyone, if they know something different, bring it to the police, because if they want to tighten up that timeline, we stand with that.
It seems like there's this very big gap when it comes to Ethan and Xana. Do you know where they might have been?
I don't, unfortunately. I know nothing about them.
We have no idea where they were, but we do have a pretty tight timeline on Kaylee and Maddie, and it is close to what they are posting, but it is a difference, and that difference actually could be huge. I mean, it could be, it could not be, but 145, 159. So there is, and we have corroborated with my phone records, Kaylee's phone records, the driver that was driving them around.
Yeah, so you
really
have,
concrete.
You have pulled video seeing the Uber driver dropping them off. You've
Yes.
checked your phone records. You know with
Yes.
timestamps what
Yes.
time they got home.
Yeah.
It's not exactly what police are saying, right?
Right.
It's not
Um,
145.
Kaylee and Maddie were picked up from their home at 112.
Okay, I just have a question. Why are they not letting the police do their job? Because as soon as this happened, Olivia went into instant cop mode and started pulling this videotape and doing this and doing that. It almost makes me feel like they have no trust in the police. They're in Moscow. I mean, I could be wrong, guys. I seriously, I could be wrong. But the way Olivia sprang into action, it was almost like they wanted to solve this case before the cops. Let me know down in the comment section on what you guys think.
To King around 10:15. It's about a 5-minute drive down. So they arrived to Corner Club around 10:20, which is different than what was released at 10. We know that Kaylee called for an Uber at 1:45. He arrived at 1:49, got in the car around 1:50. It's about a 5-6 minute drive. They arrived home at 1:56.
Is it frustrating that your timeline is based on timestamps from videos and phone records, and their timeline doesn't exactly match yours?
I just feel like there's a reason they're just putting it out, the estimate. I don't know, because they do have that information from us, and they've asked us where we have gotten that information, and we have concrete backing. She put it together.
It could be conflicting stories. We just don't know. This is the information.
How do they have concrete backing? With everything that they're doing, as far as pulling videos and putting phone records together and doing this and doing that, how do they have concrete backing? That's what I would like to know.
And
I stand behind.
I think that when they say 1:45, I think they're kind of referring to the whole group arriving approximately 1:45. I believe that maybe Ethan and Xana, and I don't know, may have gotten home around that time. And then the girls, obviously 1:59-ish is shortly after. So they're just kind of grouping that the group arrived home around 1:45-ish. But they were not together. And we don't know anything about Ethan and Xana. We do know about Kaylee and Maddie.
And some of the time stamping afterwards, that your sister was making calls, right? She was making calls as late as.
Oh, she was very adamant. We don't know about Ethan and Xana. We do know about Kaylee and Maddie. She was very adamant about that.
Almost 2 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
So she was on my mom's cell plan. So
We pulled my cell plan.
on Sunday, I was able to pull those cell records.
And you could see that she was
Mhm.
calling somebody out.
Yeah.
Does it seem like they may have been involved, or does it seem like
No.
No, not at all. Kaylee had no shame in kind of power calling. So it fits Kaylee.
Yeah, no, yeah. And we know who she was calling, and this person is, yeah, and this person was asleep, unfortunately, was not getting the calls. And it was, I don't know, a few calls for half an hour. She called him a couple times, but no, it was not, we do not believe she was calling him for help. We believe that she was just calling him to come over. If Kaylee was in indemnity, and James.
We do not believe she was calling him for help. We believe that she was calling him to come over, and Olivia, she was just power calling. That's just what she did. Mind you, guys, this interview is before the gag order. So if Kaylee wasn't calling Jack for help and just calling him to come over, why was she frantically calling him? And Maddie was too? Up until she was killed at 2:52?
Her or Maddie, they would have called 911. They would not have been calling this person. Yeah.
And
she
that was at
So
around 2.
Yes. So at that time, we
Started
believe,
around 2:30.
yeah, we believe that the girls were just fine.
So from those phone records, it looks like the girls may have been alive around 2:30.
2:30 is what the last call.
No, the last call is shortly before 3 a.m.
Short. Yeah, that's right. 2:50 something.
2:52 for both of them.
Yeah.
2:52 for both of them. And they were calling Jack D. This makes my head spin. Quote unquote, they weren't calling him for help. And Kaylee had broken it off within 3 weeks before this incident. So, exactly why was she calling him to come over? Was it, now let me know down in the comment section, guys. Was she calling him to come over, or was she calling him for help? And exactly why didn't she or Maddie call 911? Because Kaylee's mom said that she would have called 911. Her and Maddie both. Why didn't they?
It's now been 5 days.
Right.
And still no killer, still no motive. How are you guys holding up?
Yeah, I think it's different for everyone. They obviously are, the same people to us, but they were different to all of us. To my mom, it was a daughter. To my aunt, they were nieces. To me, they were sisters. And we all had different, very complex and amazing relationships with both of them. So it's going to feel different.
Empty.
Yeah, for all
Kaylee
of
was
us.
just home. She just left on Friday. She left on Friday morning to go to a Pi-Fi party, and she had just bought a brand new Range Rover, and she contemplated all day long back and forth whether she should go home, and because she just
See, now we heard that Dylan called her to be her plus one. And see, Dylan was a Pi Beta Phi. But you hear Kaylee's mom state that Kaylee was going to an Alpha Phi party. So, which one is it? Did Dylan call her to be her and lure her back to be her plus one? Or was Kaylee going to a completely different party? To her own sorority's party?
really wanted to show it to Maddie, and some other friends and whatnot. And she's just like, Mom, I'm gonna go to the Pi-Fi party, and Maddie's got to see this my new ride. And I'm like, for sure. Like, I mean, it was nice.
Right.
It was really nice. She just bought it that day, all her own. And
Okay, she just changed it up. I'm going to go to the Pi-Fi party. So, which party was she going to? Was she going to Alpha Phi or was she going to Pi Beta Phi?
I talked to the girls on she had a fun time on Friday night, both of the girls, and then both of the girls texted me on Saturday.
So you were talking to
Afternoon.
Saturday,
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon.
Yes, Saturday afternoon. They sent me pictures of themselves, and Kaylee called me around 2:30ish on Saturday afternoon. And then I was texting Kaylee just randomly on Sunday. And right about those, when I look back at my times that I was texting Kaylee, the police were swarming.
So you were trying to get a hold of her on Sunday morning.
Yeah, just random talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, hey, what's going on?
Right.
How'd you guys do last night? We talked a lot. And she was supposed to be home on Tuesday. She said she.
Okay, she was supposed to be home on Tuesday. So, she wasn't living in 1122 King Road. She was living with her parents. Because if she was living at 1122 King Road, then her mom wouldn't have said she was supposed to be home on Tuesday. So that right there states that she was living with her parents. She wasn't living in the home.
Be home on Tuesday.
Right here.
Texting Kaylee, the police were swarming.
So you were trying to get a hold of her on Sunday morning.
Yeah, just random
Unrelated,
talking.
yeah.
Yeah, just, hey, what's going on?
Right.
How'd you guys do last night? We talked a lot. And she was supposed to be home on Tuesday. She said she'd be home on Tuesday.
We were talking a little bit earlier.
She said she would be home on Tuesday. So she was living with her parents.
But whoever did this is still out there.
Yes.
Do you have a message for them?
Turn yourself in. Stop all this. Let us mourn our children, and we can't when we know this person is out there. You know who did it. You know who you are. Just end it. The guilt has got to be just overwhelming. It's
There's
got to
no
be
hiding.
sickening. Stop hiding. Stop running. just turn yourself in. Just turn yourself in so we could move on. We could bury our girls. We could have a celebration of life for them and continue to mourn and try the best to heal, start the healing process. But we can't with this person just running around out there. This person's dangerous. And we fear that this person will do this again.
Now that he's done it once, he can definitely do it again.
We have no idea why. None. There's no reason why anyone should have been targeted for any reason.
These were young, beautiful children that were starting their lives, and they were successful, and they were go-getters. They were strong. There's absolutely no reason for jealousy or anything for someone to take for children's lives like this. Turn yourself in. You owe it to these mothers of these children, these fathers, these families. You're wrong. Turn yourself in.
You said something that I've never even thought of, which is it's almost the worst nightmare, which is how do you bury your daughter knowing that they could possibly come?
It's it's going to be the services for these girls will be huge, public. And to think that this person is sitting, there at the church, just I can't.
You're worried that the killer might show up to their services.
Absolutely. Their candlelight vigils, all of that. It makes me sick that this person could be there standing right behind us, waving a little candle. It's sickening, absolutely sickening. We're sick. We're just sick. We just wanted to end.
It's a living nightmare.
Yeah.
It's a living
nightmare. Now, in terms of what police have been able to communicate to you, have they been more forthcoming? Are they communicating with you enough?
I think it's an ongoing investigation. I think at the end of the day, I'm not an investigator.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want more information?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But we don't know if they have.
She just stated she's not an investigator. Then why did you throw on your little investigator cap like Sherlock Holmes and start pulling video and getting all these timelines down like you're an investigator? And I'm not knocking Christy. I'm not knocking their Aunt Tammy, and I'm not knocking Olivia. I know, just by how Christy is in this video, she's very distraught, because she had just lost a daughter 5 days prior to this video. This interview. But what made me kind of go, wait a minute, what's going on? When she said, we got to get this right. And don't get mad. We got to get what right? That's what I would like to know. Why she said that. We got to get this right. And then she looked at Olivia, don't get mad. It just makes you wonder, guys. It makes you think.
Do I know that they have it, or do I know that they can give it to me? No. So of course I'm frustrated, but I can't necessarily point that finger direct.
Based on what you've seen so far, are you confident in their investigation?
I have to be. Right now, I have to be.
We're counting on it.
And I think that it's easy to sit back and say, oh, I would have done this. Oh, I would have done that. But I don't know what they walked into. I don't know what they've done. Are there definitely some things that, I've heard that I wish I hadn't heard about the investigation so far? Absolutely. But right now, I can't I am frustrated that I don't have more information, but I don't know if they have information that they can give me.
We don't know. We don't know. My husband is in contact with them every day, the FBI, Moscow, Idaho State Police, and every day he just says, nothing, babe. And I'm like, nothing? And he's like, nothing. I mean, just nothing. And I don't know if that's because they have nothing or because they're protecting the investigation. So, it's hard to be mad at them if, we just know they're protecting the investigation. But it would be nice if they said, we have something, we have a little lead or we have an idea. And it just gives you a little bit of hope, know? And I mean,
It is very hopeless right now, I
It
guess,
is.
being left with.
Now, see, here's the thing. Is there a possibility the reason why the Goncalveses aren't being told about what's going on is what they're doing right now? They're doing an interview. And this investigation at the time of this interview was only 5 days old. So could possibly the ISP, the FBI, the MPD, were they afraid that the Goncalveses would kind of blurt stuff out during an interview? Possibly that's why they weren't being told. And mind you, this was before the gag order, so so that could be another reason.
Without that information.
Because you can't grieve, you can't feel safe.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
And if
I
Kaylee
think-
and Maddie were down there right now in this situation with somebody else, they would be home. I would have told them, and they, I would have been, you girls need to get home now, like yesterday now. So, to families, I mean, I think it's Thanksgiving weekend is coming up and most kids are coming home, but there's no way. And there's no way that I would send them back until this person is found. This person, it's an isolated, targeted, incident until it's not. Until this person was angry.
It's an isolated, targeted incident till it's not. Where have we heard that before? It's an isolated, targeted incident. Chief Fry, when he stood up there at the podium, it's an isolated, targeted incident. It's an isolated, targeted attack, but you have to trust us. That's what that statement Christy just made sounded like. It's an isolated, targeted incident until it's not. Chief Fry. It's an isolated, targeted attack, but we don't know if the house was targeted or the students. If we don't know that, but you have to trust us. That's what that sounded like to me.
Angry. This was not just, oh, he got drunk at a party and shot up a party, which I'm not putting anything down to, people have lost loved ones that way. But this was a very
Violent targeted attack.
And hearing yesterday, hearing the coroner say that one person may have been killed in their sleep. Is that something that you had heard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said it again. It was a violent targeted attack.
was a very
Violent targeted attack.
And hearing yesterday, hearing the coroner say that one person may have been killed in their sleep. Is that something that you had heard?
Yeah.
yes.
And that's hard, but I guess for us that kind of just indicates, premeditation, which we've been fighting since the beginning away from this term, crime of passion. I think that comes with a certain connotation that can lead to empathy, and we don't agree with that.
No.
So when you hear So when you hear them say that someone was killed in their sleep, you think premeditation.
Absolutely. I think it's
Absolutely.
impossible not to.
And not one, four. I mean, I don't know if all four of them were. We don't really have the details, but regardless, 4 people were stabbed to death.
And premeditation.
Now, they weren't, there was only 2 of them stabbed to death, which was Kaylee and Maddie. And we've all learned about this over time, that Xana was awakened on TikTok. Xana had a DoorDash order. Xana had edged weapon injuries. Ethan had sharp force injuries. Kaylee and Maddie had visible stab wounds. So why are we still putting stock into what Kathy Mabbitt says? I'd like to know that exactly. Why are we putting stock into what Kathy Mabbitt says?
I mean, like you said, it's
You
very
went into
different than
somebody's
He
house
went into
with a
someone's
knife.
house with a
I'm
knife.
not saying, weeks lead up. I'm not saying months
Right.
lead up. It literally could have been 20 minutes. I
Yeah.
don't know. But to,
Somebody went in there.
this
with
wasn't
intent to
a
kill.
fight that, the girls had said something and offhand this occurred. They must have, walked in on vulnerable sleeping
A coward.
kids. And
Coward.
so for what it's worth, I want to run as far from the term of crime of passion as possible, because I think it's weak and I think it allows him to hide. And I think it gives him an out that he doesn't deserve.
That he walked in and got mad and angry. They were all there together and something occurred and he got mad and, wielded his weapon or whatever. No, this person snuck somehow into the house, whether it was a door, an unlocked door or an unlocked window, but he was not invited and he came in with a weapon.
Christy clearly doesn't know what crime of passion means. Okay, look at Jack and Kaylee. They were together at one point. Kaylee broke up with him 3 weeks before this the incident. If Jack is mad and hurt and wants revenge, that would be a crime of passion, because you have 2 ex-lovers. Not whatever Christy just said.
And
To
he
do
killed
intentional harm.
with intention, intention to kill.
Intention to kill, exactly. Not
And-
even
and-
harm, to kill.
Yeah,
And
and not
it's-
just one, not 2, not 3,
Of
4.
4.
One after another, after another, after another.
And again, that little detail about it shows like there's vulnerability, right? There is the idea that there may have been defensive wounds, but at least one person didn't see it coming.
Right.
As far as we know.
Mhm.
We
Yeah,
don't know.
as far as we know.
Yeah.
Okay, which one person didn't see it coming? If Maddie and Kaylee were both asleep, they wouldn't have, and this person decided to stab them both while they were asleep. Neither one of them would see it coming. So I'd like to know exactly which one didn't see it coming, according to the coroner, and why are we still listening to her?
In terms of somebody getting into the house, they keep saying no sign of forced entry.
Right.
Do you think that this was somebody that was known to them?
I think that that's kind of an impossible question. I think it's a very popular
Yeah.
house.
As a mother, I feel like they know him. I do. I've always felt that way. Nobody has told me that anyway.
That's an impossible question to answer. That was a popular house.
Just out
I
of
just
gut.
feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a college town. It's a small town. I feel the girls knew this person.
But we don't know that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, we don't. Yeah, we absolutely don't know
we
that.
don't know
I just feel it in my heart that they knew the person, and I've always felt that way. I don't know why, but I've always.
Okay. Christy just stated she feels like that they knew the person. But of course, you have Aunt Tammy going, well, we don't know that for sure. We don't know that for sure. I believe that they did know the person. If Christy's saying that she feels it in her heart, that they knew the person, then exactly what's going on in this case?
Said they knew him. They knew him. They know him. I just don't feel like this was like some rando just driving through Moscow happened to stop by their house.
I will say,
I don't feel like it's some rando driving through Moscow just dropping by their house. Well, wait a minute. Isn't Brian a rando? Just driving through and dropping by the house? That's kind of odd for Christy to say that. She feels that they knew the attacker, but at the same time, she doesn't feel that it's just some rando or random person driving through Moscow and dropping by the house. Then what does that make Brian? He's a random person, and they say he was driving through Moscow and dropped by the house. That screams setup, and that came out of Christie's mouth.
they did have a keypad on their front door, and it was a very popular house. So I know for a fact that people who weren't necessarily roommates of the house did have that code. So
People who weren't necessarily roommates of the house had that code to the keypad. Gee, that makes you wonder. It was a popular house, and even people that didn't live there had the code to that keypad. So, yeah, that makes you wonder. But like always, guys, like, subscribe, and comment on my channel. Hit that bell notification for any new uploads. And won't you leave a comment down in the comment section and let me know what your thoughts and opinions about this video is. And do me a favor, go over to Watch the Obsession and give her a like and a nice comment and a subscribe. This is Robert with True Crime Podcast. You guys have a happy new year. Peace.